drink. Don't worry. What's going on now?
Hello, testing. Okay, I'm not performing. I'm just going to quickly introduce our next performer. My name is Vlad, and I've done a little bit of stand-up. So yes, our next performer is a lovely and talented lady from the East Coast of the US, and she's very encouraging. I came tonight and she said, "Oh, are you performing?" I said, "No." And she said, "Oh, well, but you should, you know, last time you were funny in a weird kind of way." Thank you. She's, yeah, and when I saw her last time at Corta Pinta, afterwards she remarked back on the previous show and she said that during the show, the funniest thing was me eating pasta. So either that's, you know, the performers weren't that funny, or I don't know. I can tell you, Virginia, maybe eating the pasta was funny for you, but it was not funny for the pasta. Anyways, that's all. Without further ado, I'd like to give it over to Virginia.
In my defense, watching him eat pasta was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. He attacks it as though it's going to like bite back. It really was quite funny. So this is my second time ever on the stage. Last time was my first. So yeah, it's a bit of a mess up here as well. I was going to ask. Stage, I feel better now with the chords. I don't know. I was going to ask, is anybody else here an internet junkie? Like really?
Yes.
Raise your hand, please. Yeah, it's a problem of the modern age. Like when I was younger, I used to hang out in libraries all the time. I was a bit of a nerd, but I had a lot of curiosities, oftentimes bordering on the peculiar. But the problem with libraries is they kick you out at a certain hour. So oftentimes your inspirations do happen quite late at night, don't they? So at 3 o'clock in the morning, and you're really curious to know what a person looks like after they've jumped off a high building. No, seriously, have you ever had that curiosity? Because in cartoons they flatten out, but in your mind you think they would explode. Neither one of those are true, actually. No, that's not what people look like. So in any case, after I read the biography of Jeffrey Dahmer, well, I'm serious, it was a good biography. I wanted to learn more about cannibalism, and I had about a 2-week obsession, 4 o'clock in the morning researching cannibals. And do you know what is the first part that people always start off eating? Say it again? No, you're absolutely right. No, you've experience with this.
That's where I always start.
Yeah, no, it's true. Most cannibals start off eating the buttocks, moving on to the thighs. And human flesh tastes more like beef. So now I know. So I was curious because I had done a lot of research about American serial killers and cannibalism. And I wanted to know if there's any famous Italian serial killer cannibals, because this is my country now. I come from an Italian background, my father was born here, this is my country. And I thought I would be, culturally inspired to learn about Italians. And I discovered Leonarda Cianciulli, the soap maker of Correggio. Has anyone ever heard of her? Are there any Italians here, by the way? Italians, raise your hands. 1. There's 3. 4 Italian. Great. Do you know about Leonarda Cianciulli? Okay, here we go. All right. So Leonarda, between 1939 and 1940, she had this in her head. She had a number of children, but most of them had died. And she decided that in order to protect her favourite and eldest son, Giuseppe, from being called off to war, she naturally had to make human sacrifices. So she lived in the town of Correggio, and she owned a little shop, and all the neighbour women would come by and have, you know, coffee and biscuits at her little shop. So one of her friends, her neighbour, she's an old spinster, you know, she told her that she had found her a husband. And she had arranged the marriage, and this woman was going to take the train, she was going to travel to the north of Italy to go get married to this man. But before she went, she said, why don't you go ahead and write a number of postcards and letters, which I will mail for you to let your family know that they're okay. So the woman did so, and on her way out of town, she stopped by to see Leonarda to say goodbye. Leonarda offered her a glass of drugged wine. And then she took an axe out and hacked her up into 9 pieces. She then dissolved the body in caustic soda and made soap of the fat. And then, as she says in her memoirs, very, very graphically, she says she took the coagulated blood, dried it out in an oven, and then she mixed it with sugar and eggs, cocoa, a bit of margarine, and she kneaded it into a dough and made the most delicious crunchy chocolate biscuits, which she served to her friends the next day, with both she and her son ate as well. Seriously, Italian people, you have to take everything to the kitchen. This is the big thing. So, she was eventually caught when she killed a woman, ironically named Virginia. This woman's sister-in-law got suspicious. And she also described the wonderful biscuits that she made from her coagulated blood. But she also said she made the most wonderful soap because the woman really was sweet. Yeah. So then I started thinking about some more things, and I wanted to learn about how transsexual operations work. It's a normal curiosity, I swear. Now, when you think about it, to turn a woman, a man into a woman, you can imagine that, right? It's a little snip-snip. But to turn a woman into a man, now that's complicated. So what they actually do is they do a skin graft of the skin on the inside of the arm, just about there. They roll it up to make a penis, and then they take a vein from the inner thigh to extend the urethra so it works, so they can pee from it. And then they take silicone testy implants and wrap it around labial skin. It's really... But what I loved about this, once I figured this out, now I know if I ever see a man who's missing the skin on the inside of their arm, I can give them a knowing nod. So from there's a natural progression. I had to figure out what this whole porn thing was about. Because, you know, it's the hairless, you know, breast implanted, giant penis, moaning, screaming. It doesn't really reflect the beautiful and intimate experience of lovemaking. But I was curious about it, and I discovered something called plushophilia. Have you ever heard of this? Plushies. Plushies, yeah, you've heard of this? Plushies? Yeah. Plushies are people who dress up like gigantic stuffed animals, but with human genitalia hanging out. And they go ahead and get busy together. And I just thought, what in your childhood fucked you up that much that this is what's turning you on? And what's more disturbing, as I was slightly aroused by it myself, it was all worrisome. I also learned about squashing. You know squashing? You promised to laugh, sweetie. You did. Thank you. Squashing is where a normal-sized man gets a morbidly obese woman dressed up in lingerie to literally squash him until he can't breathe anymore. Yeah, it's magical. Thank you, Internet. It's really, it's changed my life. But then something went wrong. I was doing my porn research and I came across this one video. It was an amateur video. It looked pretty normal. It was reverse cowgirl on a couch. So it's a man sitting on a couch with his head cut off. I don't mean cut off, it's not that fucked up, like not in that way. It's just cut out of the frame. And there's this woman sitting on top of him who's really, really skinny. Like we're talking ribs showing, you know, poster child for anorexia, super, super skinny. And so they hook the business up and they start going. And I was like, all right, whatever, let's turn this off. But then I saw something, or at least I think I saw something. And I thought, no, that cannot be right. No, that is the most fucked up, wrong thing I've ever seen. But I kept looking. It was just so, oh God, so wrong. As I was staring at this woman, you know, getting down, staring at her belly, at her abdomen, what you could see in tune to the motion was... No, that was it, it's all, yeah, that was it. I'm just watching episodes of Dexter and Mad Men. Enough with the internet research. Anyway, thank you very much. Now, I hope the Italians learned about their Leonardo. I'll hand the mic back to you.